tell the truth real fast, and then we're probably done at last. 'Cause I got somewhere to be, and you're done deceiving me into thinking I couldn't do better. Yeah, I know I was probably crazy, thinking someday you'd change. There's nothing left to do.
Yesterday I applied this yarn that I showed you in the last video from my handspun. So this was my handspun that I had in the shawl, which was one strand of handspun and one strand of cobweb merino, and I applied it with white cashmere yesterday. So this is what I got. I still have this much to do, and I'm gonna do that tonight probably, but I'm going to wind this on the to make it as a skein so I can wash it right now.
And so, heartbreaker, I've been working you out. You made loads of mistakes, but none that you talk about. I'm watching every move you make, and I'm on to you. Come on, heartbreaker, give in and surrender to me. You should have probably let me go, but you've got a porcelain ego, talking fast and punching low, making sure that there are no traces of thinking I could have done better. Yeah, I know I was probably crazy, thinking someday you'd change. There's nothing left to do now, so I'm playing the game. And so, heartbreaker, I've been working you out. You made loads of mistakes, but none that you talk about. I'm watching every move you make, and I'm on to you. Come on, heartbreaker, give in.
We're getting ready to go to the party of that guy that I knitted the socks for, and I'm getting ready. I kind of put a little bit of makeup on. I'm gonna put the second layer of mascara. I never really recorded myself of putting makeup, I don't think so, or getting ready. Hey Baguette, if you can hear the cat. So yeah, I'm gonna put the second coat of mascara, but I remembered now as I was putting my jewelry that a while ago somebody was asking me about this ring and where I got it. This is a really inexpensive ring. It was only a couple of euro, that so it's nothing fancy as far as price is concerned, but I really like it. So I got it from one of those cheap websites. I'm not sure, but I really like it, and I actually have two because I was afraid if something happens to it. So the jewelry is kind of a mixed kind of thing. So this was a couple of euro. This ring was well, not couple of euro. This bracelet I made myself. This one I think I bought when we went to Norway on the cruise a couple of years ago. Earrings as well, I think. But I just wanted to say about the ring that it's not really, I can't direct you that it's any particular brand that you can buy.
And so, heartbreaker, I've been working you out. You made loads of mistakes, but none you talk about. I'm watching every move you make, and I'm on to you. Come on, heartbreaker, give in and surrender to me. Surrender to me,
morning or afternoon. Mario went to pick up Alex from school. It's Monday, and it was a busy weekend, and this week also it's going to be relatively busy. We have my mom's birthday, and the day after we have my nephew's birthday. And yesterday my parents came over with my sister and her family. Mario made some dinner. And on Saturday we went to the party of Mario's friend, of our friend, that I knitted socks for him. So that was a fun time. That was a really good party. We came home around 3 o'clock in the night. And it was very close by. It was in the same village, just like 2 minutes down the road by car. And it was a house party. But he has a large house and lots of people. He's 50th. But it was really nice. He had catering over and bar service. But it started off kind of relatively slow. Even though when we went there, it was like already packed with people. And it started off kind of slow, you know, just music, some saxophone, and we had some food, and then at one point the whole hell broke loose.
Comes up, she's like one of those spinning stories, you know, with the
The socks that I made for him were well received. I gave it to him. So I'm glad about that. He said he's looking forward to winter. So since that is done now, and in between while I was knitting on his socks, because I told you in the previous videos that because the gauge was tight, it was hard on my hands. I would also like take a break and knit on Mario's socks, which are just a single strand of yarn in the meanwhile. I finished the first one, and I'm well on the way with the second one. So this is how much I have for the second one. And I showed you how I measure for the cut-in heel 2 videos ago. But I also got a comment from one lady, how do I cut in the heel for the recipient if the gift is a surprise? I don't really, because I do have to know their shoe size at least, even if I don't have the measurement, so I can kind of refer to the charts of the length of the foot. Now, it can be a surprise, but I have to ask them somehow, you know, like through the conversation, like what shoe size do you wear, and things like that. I can't just cut in the heel. There are some socks. I have a pattern from, I didn't knit it yet, but I do have a pattern from Autumn Acorn. And if she still has those on her website, I'm going to link that underneath. basically it's a sock where you don't necessarily do the heel. That part of the heel, it's kind of like ribbing that whole section. And that can kind of fit, I believe, different sizes. So those could be a good option for if you want to make socks for somebody and you don't know their size. I think she has them in different weights of yarn, like fingering, DK, and worsted, possibly. But I'm going to check that, and if that's still available, I'm going to link her website for you. It's Autumn Acorn. She has a channel. Judy, she has a channel on YouTube as well. Lovely channel as well. So that's that. I'm going to continue working on these. And I was also picking up the jumper, the fade jumper that I was making. This jumper, I finished one sleeve already. Oh, I'm all tangled because it has 2 strands of yarn. It has my Handspun, which is where now? Oh, here. And it has a strand of mohair. So I'm finished with one sleeve. And now I'm working on the second sleeve. This is going quite fast because it's 6mm needles. I think I can finish this sleeve in one evening. So I might do that tonight and see to block it, to see what I'm going to do, because I was telling you that maybe I was thinking that I would like to turn this into a cardigan, but I'm a little bit afraid, first of all, sticking, because it's my handspun yarn in case I mess it up. And I was also worried about, not worried, but button band. If I did the button band, it would mess up the fade because I would do it in one color. And Diane from the Island Lamb channel, she suggested that if I want to turn it into cardigan, that maybe I can insert a zipper. And that's a really, really good idea. I think that would look really nice. But I think I'm too much of a chicken to stick my handspun, at least for now. Although this would not unravel, considering that it's woolen spun. Most of my yarn is kind of woolen spun, and because I do backward draw, I don't this kind of I don't know how you would say it, but they're not worsted spun, my yarns, so I wouldn't unravel if I sticked it. But because I never really tried sticking a garment, I don't know, I'll see. So I'm going to finish the sleeve on this one, although the zipper would look really nice on this. Decisions. Okay, we'll see. But okay, so I'm going to finish knitting on the sleeve of this one, and then block it, and possibly that will be ready in this video, so I can show it to you towards the end. If I work on it today and tomorrow, wash it, because it's Monday, so by the end of the week I should be able to, but I'm not promising anything. So I'm going to continue working on this. That's the plan. Now that's like the first whip that I'm going to address, which I already did. And what I did, I finished applying that the yarn that I unraveled from that shawl, triangle shawl that I knitted, and I applied it with a strand of cashmere, but it already had a strand of grey merino and the strand of my handspun. This is what I got. I think this together is about 160 grams. I think it's DK weight, from what I can tell, which is not enough for a jumper. But what I do have quite a bit of already spun up and still in fiber. I have this handspun yarn that I used in that holding with the strand of merino and strand of cashmere. So this is my handspun. Before applying it, these are just singles, and this is extremely soft. It's alpaca, merino, camel, silk, I think those are the fibers that are inside. Extremely soft, beautiful fiber. And if I decide to make a garment out of that hand spun, what I'm going to do, because as I said, I already have spun up quite a bit of this, but I also have it in fiber. I might then just add those 2 strands of cobweb and make the same yarn enough for a garment. But it created beautiful yarn. And still, I'm going to be able to have enough yarn for a garment when I do that in this kind of combination, and still a lot of this leftover fiber that I can play with other combinations. Because when I tried plying this just on its own, it was a bit too silky for my liking. I might test it, like again, make a skein and just ply on itself this one. But I think in order to give it a bit more stability, I would like to ply it with some other cobweb yarn. So that's that. That's done. And I also finished plying. If you remember, I got from Edinburgh, I got 2 purple bats, beautiful spinning bats. And I spun up one. And then I was plying it again with cobweb merino and cobweb cashmere, and there are these purple shades. So I already plied like 2 skeins, and I had the bit left over, not a bit actually, quite a bit left on the bobbin from the first bat that is still needed to ply together with those 2 strands to create yarn. I finished that as well, and this is the last one. So now what I have is these 3 beautiful purple skeins and another bat that I need to spin, and when I apply it, it would give me this much yarn as well. This I never used to be a purple person. Purple was just not my color. But lately I feel drawn to it. So I'm quite, especially this dark, deep kind of aubergine. Ever since Selma from Little Big Knits, she brought me, when we went to Barcelona, she brought me as a gift from Sonder yarn, I believe, a skein of this kind of aubergine eggplant yarn. And I kind of fell in love with it. I really liked it. And when I put it next to my face, I liked the way that it looked. So now, I think I say so a lot. It is what it is. I can't really edit myself, because when I'm not gonna get into it. But anyway, it's just difficult when even my mom tells me sometimes that I repeat myself on the channel, and I'm saying, you know what? It is what it is, because I record in sections, and do I know what I told you? I don't know what I told you, and everything is a continuation. So there is lots of ands and so, and this is it. But that's how I can't even like censor myself to think about that. You probably don't mind. It's just I'm thinking out loud now. So purple yarn. This is done. 1 bat is done, and I have another bat to spin, which I will get to it. It's just, it's not something that I want to do now. I want to play with some other colors as well. And I'm going to see you in a couple of days, probably when I finish this the sleeve on the fade jumper, and maybe when I block it, or just kind of like show you without blocking for a second, and then see the difference, how it looks after it's blocked. We'll see. It's beginning of the week, and this vlog is coming out on Saturday, so I have like 4 or 5 days before it goes up. So anyway, I'll see you in a couple of days time. I finished the jumper, the fade jumper that I was knitting, and right now what I'm gonna do, because it's kind of heavy, I don't wanna just dunk it in the water in order to block it. I'm probably going to put it in the washing machine on wool setting, even though I have only this piece, just to run a cycle, and that way it washes it and also does the spin, so kind of all the water gets out. And it's only like an hour cycle or less. So I'm gonna put this in the washing machine so I can block it. It's Thursday, and I wanted to finish this vlog so I can kind of tell you what I've been doing in the past couple of days. Yeah, it's been a couple of days. I did a giveaway. I think on Monday I announced the winner on Instagram. I did a giveaway and I have sent the prizes today. But I hated the process, and it came as a surprise to me because I thought, like, you know, stitch markers, they're lightweight to ship, and you know, it's a nice way to say thank you to some of you. But instead of focusing, I didn't know that I'm gonna feel like that. Once it came the time to draw the winners, in case of being happy for those people that are going to win, I felt really miserable for the people that didn't win. And I know it's a common thing, not everybody can get the prize. I know it's a common thing, people enter giveaways all the time, but for me it just did not feel right. I didn't enjoy the process at all, so I don't know if I'm going to be doing it again. These prizes are sent, and I'm very happy for, instead of one I actually drew three people, so I'm very happy for them. But I don't think it aligns with me, this kind of promotion or saying thank you. Or I think Jonathan Days, from Jonathan Days' channel, I think I remember he did something that he also feels, from what I remember, he also feels that giving to one person a gift is not a great it's not a nice solution. So what he did when he made a pattern, he announced on his YouTube channel, and he didn't advertise it anywhere else. He just said on his YouTube channel, I think he gave them a code, gave us a code, and he said, okay, for you guys, this is free, whether it's for a limited amount or forever, I'm not sure. But that was his way of everybody on the YouTube channel to be able to get the prize. And I kind of like that. I mean, yes, giveaways, they do have their place, but I don't necessarily think it's for me. I might change my mind. I might soften up towards the idea, but as far as it is now, I really didn't enjoy the process. So congratulations to whoever, to three ladies that won on Instagram, and I have sent them today. That's another thing with orders when I send from the website. Guys, please take in consideration the tracking number that I sent. The reason why I say, I pay extra in order to have it tracked, registered, so you always know where the package is. Because what happened among all these orders, okay, there was only 2 cases, but they were not notified that the package came, and the package started returning back to me. Now that, hopefully, if I receive those packages, it's not necessarily that big of an issue. But I can't resend the same thing, because whatever that person bought is probably long gone, because I make everything in small batches. So it's not just a matter of me replacing the product. If I don't receive it back, if something happens in the post and I don't receive it back, I can't send the same product because it's not available anymore. That's why I send them tracked, and I update the tracking as soon as I send them. So the least what you can do, if you don't follow the tracking, at least when you order, just memorize, write down somewhere your order number. So that way, if you ever need to contact me, I can refer to the order number, and then hopefully I'm going to be able to see the tracking that I have updated with, and then we can see what happened to it. But the tracking is always there. That's why the website asks you for your phone number and your email. So I guess that they can contact you. Okay, so that's that. Another thing is that I finished the fade jumper that I was making on, that I was knitting on. I finished it. It turned out lovely, but I don't think I can keep it. It became massive. I don't know what happened in blocking. So I finished knitting. I washed it. I blocked it. I didn't even block it aggressively. I just laid it out to dry normally, and it just became massive on me. I'm going to try it on for a second, even though it's really, really hot. Well, it's definitely hot for this jumper. Just so you can see what I mean. I mean, it looks beautiful, it really does, and I love this style, but this is a very hot, it's a very thick yarn. So for me, wearing this doesn't work. If this was in my climate, if this was thinner yarn, then this kind of model would be great, because look also how wide it is. And if you can't see it properly on the camera now, I have recorded some footage that I can insert like in the little screen if I see that this didn't come out well. Otherwise, the jumper came out lovely, but I don't think I can keep it. So then what I was thinking, this is also, if you're interested, this is also in and out raglan. Now I know it looks very different to other in and out raglans that I make, like the previous red one. I'm gonna put it somewhere here, or the other ones that I make, because I like turtlenecks, I usually make them with that kind of neckline. So turtleneck or a very tight high neck anyway. I rarely do. I have one more like this with very open shoulders, and I like it, but normally I like high neck. So it doesn't, you wouldn't necessarily think that it's the same recipe, that it's the same pattern, but it is. I have followed with this one, the In and Out Raglan, which for the new people is a free recipe that I have on my website. You can find the link in the description. And it's a free recipe that allows you basically to knit with most of the yarn weights of yarn, and to kind of find your numbers and just follow those numbers and get a raglan jumper. You have to do some calculations of how wide you want the neck opening to be, how wide you want the body to be. But once you have those numbers, you kind of just refer to the chart, and it gives you all the numbers of where to start and where to stop increasing raglan. So this is also in and out raglan, but it's this boat neck, and I like it. I feel sorry that it's not going to be so practical for me. But what I also don't want to do is I don't want to have things in my wardrobe, the things that I'm not necessarily going to wear, that they're going to just take up space. So now I have a few options, well, two that I can think of. I'm either going to put it on for sale on the website. I might do that as a start anyway, because that obviously depends on the size. I haven't knitted this according to anybody's particular size. I did it for me, but it just got much bigger. So if I do that, I'm going to take a picture and kind of show exactly the measurements, probably in centimeters, but maybe in inches as well, of how wide is the neck and how wide is the body and the sleeves and the length. So if you are, hey Jake, you okay? The cat. So if so you can see if it fits you. The price, that's also a very tricky one, because this is handspun yarn and it's a hand knitted jumper. But what I think I'm gonna do is because this one I was going to make for myself. I wasn't going to make it for the website. I think I'm going to put it on, just exclude my knitting, just kind of put it as the price of the handspun yarn if I was going to sell the handspun yarn. So I'll do that first, and then if nobody buys it for whatever reason, whether the fit is not alright, because I'm a pretty small person, but considering that it's big on me, I'm thinking that it might fit some other people, that if they like it. If that doesn't work, if it doesn't sell, I can't turn it into a cardigan, which we discussed earlier, because it's very wide opening, so it's going to be falling off my shoulders. So I think it needs to be worn like this if somebody chooses to wear it. So so I'm going to put it for sale, and if it doesn't sell, then I think I'm going to keep it for next year for my sister-in-law's birthday, which I think it would fit her. And that's fine with me, because it's precious for me. It's handspun yarn, plus I was blending the fiber in order to get the fade. I don't want it just to sit there. I could unravel it and use the yarn and to make a shawl, but that would be just, again, so much work, because I held mohair with it, because I had held a strand of my handspun yarn and a strand of mohair, alpaca and polyamide blend. So I don't think I'm going to unravel it. It's going to stay as it is. First go for sale, and then if it doesn't sell, I'm going to keep it probably for my sister-in-law for her birthday next year. So that's that. Yeah, I mean, how things turned around just in a couple of days. I'm going to finish editing this vlog, and I hope you enjoyed the footage of the party. That was such a good time. We had a brilliant time. Okay, now you probably heard I don't know if the microphone picked it up, but somebody was flushing the toilet. So I hope you enjoyed the footage of the party. It was a really good time. And this little twist in projects, in knitting, I did not expect this. But either way, I like it. It's just I don't think it's practical. I don't think I will be wearing, especially for my climate. It's too hot for a jumper and to have such a wide opening. But having said that, liking the model this much, I think I'm going to knit one in a lightweight yarn, maybe fingering or something like that. Okay, well, thank you for watching. I hope you are well, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.